Hello, I'm glad you're back. We're going on to our next signature in our album, and it is going to be for page signature number 2 on page 1. And so this is kind of what I have. We'll get to this in just a second. I want to get down here to this piece. I don't want to move these. All right, so I've chosen this piece, and it's out of the 22 maxi pad, and I went to my scraps for this piece. I just like it very much. I love the color, I love the lettering, and then I wanted to make a statement piece, so I cut this out. The Only Impossible Journey is the One You Never Began, and I took a couple of the brass gears and put it on the bottom. So this is all going to be on the base page. And the page measures 9 1/4 across by 8 5/8 in the height. Okay. I did not reduce this down in the width. I think I had to trim it a little bit in the length, but not the width. So the pocket is measuring it 2 5/8, and obviously by the height of the signature, your base page. So let me put some, I know I'm out of frame. Let me get up here. I have those in the right order that I want them, so I don't want to mess around with it too much. Okay, so we're going to get this taped and glued into place. Now, this piece, you can put your pocket either on the right or on the left. Using this as my piece, I felt it didn't stand out on that side. It was too much of a blend in the colors there. So I put it over here, and it made a big difference in this being a nice focal point against these bronze and brown colors. So that's why I've got it over here on the right. And I need to mark or erase my mark here, so bear with me just a second. All right, so let's go ahead. Easy enough right now. Let's just go ahead and get this all put together. And then the next page is going to be some fancy trimming. I just wanted to do something a little different. So we'll see how it works out. Sorry, I need to kind of pull this down and around here so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and we'll get this glued into place. There are other pieces. You can go to your scraps and pick whatever you prefer. I really like the one I'm playing with, but it's your album, so use whatever scrap pieces that draw your attention. That'll work. Okay, and then this piece is going to come and sit right here. So I'm only going to put glue on I'm trying to look to see where I want to stop my glue. Now I'm going to come in here just in case I got my glue in the wrong spot. I did good. So that is all settled and done. Now I'm going to put this aside for the moment. And I'm going to try and find something here so that you can play along with, or follow along with what I'm going to do here. Let me see if I can find, there should be, okay, that's not it. I apologize. I've kind of got things stacked here, and that's not what I intended. There we go. Now let's take a look in here. I don't have another one. Oh, that is, that's interesting. Usually in these 22 pad, there's usually an, let me look again. I'm looking for the dog that is sitting here in the corner, and there is not another one. That is interesting. Okay, so pull these back down here. So what you're going to find is the 12 by 12 piece that has this dog. And this is how it should look. I'm trying to be too... Okay, let me get this in frame for you. All right, so this is your 12 by 12 piece. And I've cut sections out of it because I wanted to play with all of them. And I thought it would make for a very interesting signature. So you're gonna cut Adventure Awaits just a hair under, and the cardstock is going to be at 5 3/4 in the length, and then the cardstock is going to be 4 3/8 in the width, and then you're going to score it at a half. So that's this panel. The dog is going to be trimmed at, well, the cardstock is going to be 4 3/8. I need to see the base. Here we go. 4 3/8 by just a hair over 7.5 inches. So when you go to trim the dog, it needs to fit in there, and I did not have to do any trimming, and if I did do any trimming, it would have been to this top piece. So these two are the same width. Then moving right to left is the chair, and then this piece, the clock. I'm sorry, I'm just a little, got myself just a little there. I'll figure it out. I know what I'm doing, really. All right, so this one piece is going to measure at 7 1/4 inches, and you're going to score it at a half, and then you're going to score this one at 5/8. So then when you trim this one, oh, it's going this way. When you trim this piece in, it will fit. And when I cut this here, I cut it just below the 3. So if you see that, there's the number 3. I cut it right at the base, and then that came right straight across the top of the chair. Now this piece, which rests above it, this is 6 1/4 inches by 4 3/8, and this one you're going to score it at 1/2, and you're going to score it at 5/8. I want to kind of keep these together. And then the last piece, which is on your left-hand side, this piece measures in at 7 3/4 inches in its length, and it is 3 5/8 in its width with a 1/2 inch score. So your outer ones are 1/2 inch score marks, and the two in the center will have a 5/8 score and a 1/2 inch score. Well, this little guy down here, he's measuring in at 3 5/8 by 5 3/8 with that 1/2 inch score. So you've got a little bit of fussy cutting on the paper trimmer, if you will, so that you can cut each one of these pieces. And then the piece on the underside that I used was the piece that has these envelope sections. Oops, come here. See, I think this envelope section is up in the actual upper right-hand corner. So I've moved some of these around to fit what I'm doing, but it was this piece, and I had almost enough to cut it, but I had to cut this one from a separate piece. So I cut this one off of this. So this is the same sheet that I used here, but I had to cut this extra one off of here. I think that's because this is so much longer. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get the exact same cuts turning it over as I did on the other side, but I'm not going to fog my brain up with the solution. So, and then I rounded 1/4 inch round on my corners, inked everything, and the underside is where your photos are going to be. The top side is going to be different parts of that 12 by 12 that are telling a story. Now, when we put this together, these will be the last two pieces put on. That's why you've got a 5/8 score, and this is where we're going to secure the magnet, and these two pieces will keep these down. So let's go ahead. We're going to put this one, this one, this one, and this one. We're going to put them in their respective places, and then we'll set these two last. So just in case you need to see this again. Oh, and then I cut out of the phrase sheet happy hearts, and I popped it up, mounted it on cardstock, and I'm going to put that right there. So let's turn these over. This one here I cut right under the book and the glasses. I mean, right under it. So this piece here is a part of the book. So just give you kind of another opportunity to see what it was I did for the cut. Maybe 1/8 of an inch, or maybe 1/16 of an inch above the gear box there. And then we have the chair, so I went up. And once I went up between these two panels here, then I put them back on the paper trimmer and started cutting them into the individual pieces. So if you're ready, you can always stop and catch up. I'm going to kind of move these out of the way a little bit, and then we're going to start. And it doesn't really matter which one goes down first because you can flop them whichever way you want to. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start gluing and getting mine put together. Oh, sure. So this wants to, just a second while I dig out my glue opening here. Turn it up. I'm going to put this piece on. I think the reason I keep thinking about why I couldn't do the same thing on a different 12 by 12, and I think it's because I went about it the wrong way. Okay, that slid on me. Get back over here. There we go. All right, so this one is going to go right here on the edge. And then we're going to put the dog in. Really surprised there's only one image of that dog because there's several images of all the other pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to come right here at the bottom. Put it up. So see, it doesn't matter which way it goes. So I'm just putting them on in no particular order, other than the outside ones have to go on first. And then this one is going to go right here at the top, right on the edge. And then we have this cute little cabinet piece down here along the bottom. this should make it kind of fun for if you're keeping it for yourself or if you're giving it as a gift. Will be kind of fun because there'll be different size photos and you're going to do different kinds of flips on the flaps. So it'll just be a little different. So it's going to come right here to the edge. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's put the top one on first. We're going to do this without having the papers on because we're going to set the magnet in here first. So I'm just going to lift this just ever so slightly. And I'm coming right up to the 1/2 inch score line before I set this down. And I did not get them quite even, but I'm not going to waste the undo. To center it, what, maybe 1/8 of an inch. But I do want this to match. Oh, for Pete's sake. I want to come up to the 1/2 inch score mark, push this down. Let's see if they're level, if they're even. Once I place the magnets, they'll be fine. Okay. Now, to me, it does matter on this one which one's on top because it's going to have that saying on it. All right, so now I am going to go ahead and add this piece on. That one I'm going to glue. This one under here I'm going to tape on because if I have to get in there, I want to be able to do so. Okay, which side? It's this side. When they start looking so much like each other, it's really hard to remember which way I had some things going. Just tack a little one down the center. then I'm just going to go ahead and add. Now there are lots of little quoted sayings. Add whichever one you want, or don't add one at all. That's entirely up to you. So this one I am going to tape down on this side because of my magnet. Okay. And then I'm going to glue this piece down. Okay, so these two here keep everything in here closed and nice and tight and pretty. But when you go to open them, each one is going to have a different visual. Here's the big lounge chair, and then when you open this up, you've got this beautiful bookcase, it looks like, and you've got the drawers underneath, and then we have the map, and then we have the dog. So again, you can put these any way you want, just like so. So let's go ahead and let's turn it over and let's get some tape on the reverse side. Oh. So that signature took at least 3 sheets. And it's probably one of the smallest ones I've done. Excuse me. But it does have a lot of action going on. And I wanted to just double check something here. Oh, that's right. I did put the gears. I put the gears here. So see, when you open this up, you're looking at 3 different layers here. So when photos start getting added, they're going to have a nice little different element. And then when you come down here, you've got the same thing. You've got the opposite. You've got the long one here versus the long one up over here on, which is my left-hand side. So they have just some different fun elements going on. And let's go ahead and we'll get this put in here, and it will come and sit just like this. And I'm going to turn it so that I can see what I'm doing when I add it in. Oh, I must not have burnished. Hold on here. I'm going to pull this off camera just a little bit so I can get in here and burnish. I can tell because the tape is coming up with the... Now I'm going to have to make sure I've got this going in the right direction. Goes this way. That would not have been fun if I'd put that on in here upside down. Goes this way. Okay, coming right to the edge. And I'm going to sneak in here and take this one off first. And then I'm going to take the rest of them off. Oh, come on. Okay. Have to give everything a good burnish here. Okay. I kind of like the dog up at the front. There we go. All right, another signature done. I'll see you when we come back for this one. Until then, bye-bye.